going far.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's ready for some motherfucking posts? Okay. And now, a dramatic reading. Natalie Ayres performs... the Priti Patel's response to the question, why does the UK have the worst coronavirus death rate of any country, set to music.
We've been in this virus pandemic for about a year now, and it's a global pandemic across the world. And governments respond, very differently. We've seen that across the world. But based on the fact, society, evidence that have effectively been presented to us as decision makers. Now I think that the fact of the matter is we've seen just deaths around the world, harrowing death tolls around the world. Government has responded as facts change, information changes, working with scientists, working with medics, working with the professionals who have been guiding us throughout this. So there is no one reason as to why we have, an appalling death toll. The numbers are deeply tragic, and this is a human tragedy across the world and at home. But as I've said, there'll be a wide range of reasons, and I'm sure in the future we'll all look back and we'll all look, and with a degree of humility, I would say as well, as to measures that could have been taken, some measures we may not have even taken right now, and understand and look at why that may have been the case. Priti Patel, everyone.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Hello everyone, welcome to Post Stream! It's the Post Stream! Woo! Can I have maybe a?
Yes. Appropriately, the music for that piece of found poetry was I Tried.
It was I Tried - sad deep storytelling piano rap instrumental. So apropos. Somewhat. We're going in with posts hot today. We are going to have a heck of a post to begin with. So, what's happening is, first we're having a special post segment that we've had planned, that I've been planning, that we've got ready.
Do I know about this?
Partly.
Ooh.
Then we're going to discuss the premiere, for everyone who's here to discuss the premiere. Hello everyone. If you're new to this, what we do here is we read posts. It's all about posts. This is the posts stream. But when there's been a premiere, we're happy to chat about the video. That's all chill. Then, once we've done the chatting about the video, we'll do our usual thing, which is our usual source of posts, r/relationships, r/am I the asshole. So, first post of the evening. Okay. The first post of the evening. We are discussing Amanda Palmer's viral tweet. Amanda Palmer's viral tweet. Okay. Amanda Palmer, on January 21st, 2021, tweets, just walked into a coffee shop here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and everybody behind the counter, not really knowing me, but knowing I was American, erupted in spontaneous applause. just magical.
I love it. It's a treat.
You got some thoughts going in?
I feel like I've expelled all my thoughts on it already.
Okay. I mean, if you don't have any thoughts that you want to bring to the post stream, that's fine. Because I've got an article here to read you about this post.
Oh, my goodness.
I've got a whole article about this post that I want to read
That
you.
was quick. Who did that?
A New Zealand journalist called Hayden Donald.
Okay, beautiful.
But if you have any thoughts, now is the time.
Okay.
So just going in, cold
Before
read.
we get the official take.
Cold read any thoughts on just walked into a coffee shop here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and everybody behind the counter, not really knowing me, but knowing I was American, erupted in spontaneous applause.
First thought, obviously, this is hilariously Amanda Palmer.
Yes. Second thought, if anyone is confused, the context is obviously the election. The inauguration of Biden. The idea being people are so pleased for Americans. Okay. Brace yourselves, chat. This article is absolutely bonkers. I'm so glad some people know the article and some people don't. This is so good. I read this earlier today. Lorcan, a treasure who we could not possibly do without, sent me this. Brace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Hayden Donald writes, right now our most fiery national debate is over whether New Zealanders were nice to the singer Amanda Palmer in a cafe. Desperate to restore peace in our nation, I went in search of the truth.
Oh my goodness! Okay, so yeah, obviously, the first things first, everyone just assumed this was made up. Because it sounds like a really silly lie. Could it have happened? I guess. But, my first response to seeing that was, that does sound like a lie. That sounds really silly.
Okay, let's do it. Joe Biden had barely finished calling for unity when Amanda Palmer posted a tweet that split New Zealand in two.
Thank you.
Her message began innocuously.
Thank
Just walked
you.
into a coffee shop here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, she said. Believably.
It's
Believably.
it's the beginning.
But
It's
then-
starting with the overheard in a coffee shop, beginning as well.
But then the kicker, and everybody behind the counter, not really knowing me, but knowing I was American, erupted in spontaneous applause. Rent the island nation in twain. Okay. Palmer's claim was incendiary. It didn't mesh with the Aotearoa New Zealand many of us thought we knew, where any achievement, from getting an A on an assignment to winning the Rugby World Cup, is met with a grim nod and a stern reminder not to get too full of yourself. She was asserting that New Zealanders were not just nice, but effusively nice in public. It had to be a lie. Insufferable, tweeted David Farrier. The New Zealand cafe that spontaneously applauded Amanda Palmer has closed due to it not existing. Many sad faces, wrote Peter Taggart. Timothy Calamete at
Thank
Dread
you.
Conquest of Dread, our very own Timotei, wrote,
Thank you.
that dude that plays Thor came into my mate's bar just after Ragnarok came out, and all he got was a sup Thor, so I refuse to believe the slanderous
Thank
story
you.
about us being a clapping people.
Thank you.
Is his tweet in this article? That's hilarious. That's
He's in the article.
so
He's in the
funny.
article. These doubters were met with a strident backlash.
Thank
Entrepreneur
you.
Nat Torkington was Palmer's fiercest defender.
Thank you.
I'm seeing the occasional lazy Kiwi would-be pundit making Kiwis don't do that smirks. Get fucked and take your staunch, broken
Thank
manhood,
you.
toxic masculinity bullshit ideas of
Thank
how we
you.
are with you. You might be a prick, he tweeted. The general tenor of the response was that New Zealanders are actually lovely,
Thank you.
and anyone who said otherwise was a fuckwit who could
Thank
get fucked
you.
immediately.
We're fucking lovely.
In truth, all of us were shouting in the dark. We were projecting our ideas
Thank
about the
you.
character of Amanda Palmer and New Zealanders as a whole,
Thank you.
like shadows on a cave wall, then getting mad at anyone who didn't share our vision.
This is incredible.
The situation
Thank
needed
you.
cold, hard facts.
Thank you.
If we could figure out whether people spontaneously cheered for an American singer in a cafe, then New Zealand's problems would be solved.
Can we bring some empiricism into
Thank
this
you.
conversation?
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Thank you.
My only real option was to launch a spin-off investigation. That's the name of the site, spin-off.
Cute.
To launch a spin-off investigation.
Thank you.
The first step was figuring out Palmer's location. That was
you.
easy. The spin-off had already independently established that she's living in Havelock North. The second step was figuring out the cafe she visited. This was more difficult.
you.
Amanda Palmer's tweet was sent at 11:04 a.m., a
Thank
prime
you.
coffee hour. Google showed 20 results for cafes near Havelock North. It seemed I was in for a lot of both journalism and reporting. Thankfully, though, some cafes looked more like possible Palmer destinations than others. Hawthorne Coffee Roastery and Espresso Bar especially seemed like the kind of boutique operation that would be frequented by a niche American artist. I decided to call them first. I do know she's a regular here and has been here numerous times, said the first person I spoke to. He put me onto the store's manager, Chris Coleman. I read him the tweet. Yeah. It happened, he said. Coleman said the day before Biden's inauguration, Palmer came in for her regular coffee fix and spoke to him about US politics. We were discussing whether it was going to kick off with the Trump supporters and things with the protest, he said. When Palmer arrived the following day, Coleman clapped and said congratulations as she walked in. I don't recall it being a major thing, he said. It was kind of like, good for you. Way to go.
Just like one person.
Glad there's a change.
Oh
Coleman
my-
said he knew Palmer was a musician, but they'd never discussed her work. There were no major factual errors in her tweet, he said. The clap and the wahoo did happen, and the congratulations. I can confirm that. After considering Coleman's testimony, this is the spin-off's official fact check of all the components of Palmer's tweet. Claim 1, just walked into a coffee shop here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. This is true. There is overwhelming evidence Palmer did visit a coffee shop. Claim 2, and everybody behind the counter, this is mostly true, but arguably misleading. Everybody behind the counter clapped for Palmer, but in this case,
One person
everybody
behind the
was
counter.
one man, Chris Coleman.
It's so much funnier that one person clapped rather than
Okay,
it
can
not
I just
happening
say,
at all.
this makes her a posting freak! To say everyone behind the counter, when you mean one person, makes you a post freak. Someone who is high on posts.
Yeah.
Someone who has crumbled up posts into a fucking paper bag and is huffing those posts and getting fucking white knuckling on posts. Jesus Christ. Amanda Palmer is one of us. Right. Okay. Okay.
Look,
Okay.
I just said Jacob Wall was in the cafe too.
Claim 3. Not knowing me, but knowing I was American. This is mostly false. But that's not Palmer's fault.
He
She
did
had
know
no way
her.
of knowing Coleman knew about her music career, as they'd never discussed it. Claim 4 erupted in spontaneous applause. This is mostly true. Coleman did erupt in spontaneous applause, but the fact they'd had a prior discussion about the
Right.
inauguration is important
Not
context.
spontaneous.
Overall, Palmer's claim is rated 1 Pinocchio. It contains a selective telling of the truth and some exaggeration. However, the overarching impression the tweet left is that New Zealanders are a kind, generous, and publicly effusive people. That idea has been proven false by the backlash to the tweet, among other things. It is rated... That idea is rated 4 Pinocchios and will one day be lowered with Satan and the rest of his lies into the fiery pit. Now it is time to end this uncivil war. The answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions. Unity is our path forward. May God bless you all, and may God bless the United States of New Zealand. So, that was not the article Lorcan sent me.
Oh, well, that was
Lorcan
incredible.
sent me one that was referring to that article.
I love that
and
article.
So I wanted to read the original reporter's breakdown because, you know, to be fair. But the original article Lorcan sent me has, read the bottom ad on the spin-off. Don't look. Don't you be looking. Joe says, I feel like I just had a stroke. I want to read something from the bottom of the article Lorcan sent, which was an update. So, for her part, Palmer's responded to the spin-off story by tweeting that it will, big sigh, definitely be rewarded the Whitaker's Dark Chocolate Peanut Butter Slab Award for Investigative Journalism in 2021. So, she's shared the spin-off's article with that snarky remark when she has been outed as a posting freak. She can't deny the fact now that
he's
she
just being
fucking,
a posting freak too.
that she fucking lied. You know, like she
So
had
funny.
a guy who was prepped to be happy for her, be happy for her, and she reported that as everyone behind the counter erupted in spontaneous applause. That is fucked. That is fucked. That's fucked. Right. Okay. Apparently, it's on the original article that I need to be looking for this ad, so I'm gonna go look at this ad. Because Jess says I don't know what I'm getting into here.
Ooh, a surprise.
Yeah. Wait, what ad? Are you seeing ads on mobile? What am I looking for here? Can I have that?
Yes.
Oh, it's all gone.
No, it's not.
It's mostly gone.
There's a bit left. Aaron Burr.
Ugh.
Jess, tell us what you remember from this mysterious ad that was on the article.
Yeah, I'm not getting a particular an ad that's really like striking me.
But I love that article very much.
Yeah,
Very well
you
written,
like that?
very well read. That was
Cool.
a treat.
There you go.
Absolute treat.
There you go. That's what I wanted to start today with. I was considering doing a section breaking down some of my best tweets called How to Post Like a Pro, but I'm actually going to put it off for another day. I haven't done enough prep work.
You need the perfect
I need
selection.
to gather some of my best tweets together. I was going to
Okay.
run through, I mean, here are 3 classics off the top of my head I was going to run through. So, if Marx were alive today, he would post whole.
That was a good one.
That's a great post. Willy Wonka. Okay, firstly, female trait. Just walked into a coffee shop here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and everybody not really knowing me, but seeing my huge titties and my dump truck ass erupted into spontaneous applause. Those are, okay, all great posts.
Top quality posts.
All great stuff, but I ask you this. What can we learn from them? Not much right now, so I'm going to come back with some, a good bouquet of posts to have a full, a selection to
Okay.
properly teach people. So if we spoke about the Christmas tree still being up yet?
It's been a hard year.
Yeah,
We're
what
going
do
to
you-
enjoy it for as long as we can.
I've had so many people comment on this, and it's just like, come on.
I thought this was normal.
Just come on, honestly.
To keep the Christmas tree up
Come
as long as
on.
you could get away with.
So tedious. So tedious.
The tree's up a little early. 12 months.
There you go. I am not smarter than they. Sophie was a good one too.
Oh.
Because TBH, it's true. Nice, nice. I appreciate you admitting that. Right. It shows that you're on the path to get better.
It does bring the room together. Otherwise, this is just bare. Oh no, there's nice flags there. It's okay.
It will be Snorlax after the tree's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, next section for the stream, next segment. How do we all enjoy the video? I'm gonna play some of this. I'm gonna play some Dead Gods, and we'll chat about the video.
Nice one.
Cool.
What did you think about the video?
I feel a lot better now. Everyone can be reassured. I felt a lot better now. There's a line at the bottom of the article that says, "Independent journalism takes time, money, and hard work to produce," which is just an amazing thing to see juxtaposed next to the article. That's valid. I
probably
take
take some hard work.
that.
To go visit a coffee shop.
That was there. He
Do an
only
independent
rang
interview?
them up.
Oh. Nice, it was the first guest. That's pretty cool, actually.
Well, what's funny,
Good one.
what's so annoying to me about Amanda Palmer's snarky response is that she did lie and was shown to be lying.
Right, it was only
And
so
then
easily exposed because
this dude
she
just-
did such a stupid
Like,
lie.
everyone got so mad about it, right, because it was such a stupid lie, and then this guy just rung up the coffee shop guy and had it easily debunked, and then wrote an article about it, and fleshed out the article with funny and flowery prose that
Yeah, it was
everyone
really
enjoyed.
entertaining.
And then she, having lost out at every turn of this process,
Yeah.
is like, well, that's good journalism.
Just being a sore loser that someone
Fuck up.
called her bluff in a really entertaining way that was more fun, like more entertaining than her like tweet that was a lie.
Right. Missed the video premiere, but I can't let myself miss the posts. Yeah, that is how it is. The bit about the deserter being the type of communist revolutionary that just sits in bitterness and doesn't actually work to change or do anything really hit me. Yeah, so basically, there are a lot of, like, quite doomery people. Okay, so I said this thing actually this morning, because I was talking about how shit it is for trans people in the UK right now. And I had this Twitter response that was like, not insinuating anything, but the Houses of Commons, the House of Commons, the Houses of Parliament are very flammable. And so they were just joking, to be clear, they were just joking. But I said this to Natalie that, like, that's worth examining because that's a fantasy. That's like, it wouldn't achieve anything. It's a pointless thing to say. Most likely no one would even be harmed or stopped by it. It's not like the building does the transphobic stuff, right? And even if it would, I'm saying in this thread, like, please write to your MPs, here's a template so you can copy and paste this letter and send it to your MPs, and to say this thing instead, and again, not targeting that person because that person was kidding.
Right, and also, like,
But,
feeling
like,
that way is totally valid. Like,
of course, because I feel that way because I get really fucking angry because it's absolutely disgusting bullshit. But, right, there are people who sincerely, you're trying to, talk about, like, union action, or you're trying to talk about praxis and theory and different forms of, like, ways that the left can change things. And they're, like, they're just very sincerely, like, no, not without just full revolution. There's no point, You're pointing to, like, the people who are genuinely making a difference in the world. I mean, and I do consider it kind of honestly, because I think this is what's really good about Disco Elysium. I think that it's a depressive way of being, a depressive way of existing. Because I've had friends who struggle with depression, who, when they're, like, especially depressed, start talking like those types of leftists. Like, they aren't usually like that, and then when they're in the real depths of depression, I'm trying to tell them, like, no, there are good things happening. Look, Mas just won back Bolivia, right? Natalie's taking part in action with the renters union and saving people from evictions, right? Like, this place just had its first gay wedding, and this thing, and this thing, and this thing, and this thing. And they're like, yeah, but the climate's going to kill us all. And unless something's done about the America, then the blah, the blah, the blah. And it's like, this is because you're depressed. Like, that's where this is coming out of. And then the way that they really represent that in the game is so good because of, like, the two strongest representations of this are Harry himself, who's just a mess, and the communist on the island, he's a communist on an island. He's so not working to improve society because he's just on an island. There's nothing he can do,
It's also, like, obviously it's so especially hard during the pandemic because you get used to thinking on these different kind of levels of sort of consciousness of what you're thinking about things at different scales. And people carry around so much like cognitive dissonance around in their head
Yeah.
with like what's good, what's bad, what they're comfortable with, what's worrying them.
Yeah.
And when you have loads of people around you in your daily life who are doing like okay, and even if they're not doing okay, like people know what they can do to help each other. There's ways that you can make things at least a bit better for other people, ways that they can help you.
Totally.
Like those things keep you grounded, and like even if stuff's going to shit in some ways, you can still see how you and the people you care about can keep going right now.
Right, and that's
And when
something that's been
everyone's-
really cool about your work with the Renters Union.
It definitely
because
makes me feel
even
so much
with
more
the
grounded.
pandemic, you've still been doing stuff where you've been seeing people and changing their reality by like helping them to
Right,
not,
and even
to
if
not
it's only
get
like
evicted or whatever.
one little thing, it's obviously a big for those people, but it's not like we're working with so many different people at the same time or anything. Even just like each thing feels very
Right.
very big, very grounding.
Mm.
But with the pandemic, like so many people's interaction with politics
Yeah.
is just through a feed of
Oh yeah,
all
awful,
the worst things that happen.
awful doomer garbage
And
that
it's-
just makes you feel like shit all the time.
Right, and it's
Absolutely.
not that it's not true. it's
Well,
you can't process
in a
things
sense,
like
no,
that.
but hang on a second. In a sense, it's not true, and I talked about this on Twitter the other day. Twitter will never tell you
Right.
when the fascists leave the capital. They went there on January 6th, I know that. Twitter never told me how or why or in what numbers or when they left. For all I know, there's a permanent protest camp out there now. I have no fucking clue.
Right.
Because the bad thing was the fascists going there. And then going away again is not something Twitter cares to mention. Were they all arrested? Were they driven away by National Guard? Were they... Now, I do know answers to these questions. I'm not asking you guys to answer the questions. I'm saying, consider that, right? Like, think about that. Think about the way that is. Twitter never fucking tells you when that happens. How fucked is that? How actually fucked is that? Right? Twitter was way bigger... My Twitter feed, my Twitter experience, was way bigger on Evo Morales getting driven out of Bolivia and the fascist
Thank
coup
you.
than it was about mass
Thank you.
reclaiming Bolivia.
Really?
Yes, very
That
much so.
sucks, because it was so exciting
Now,
and cool that they
They definitely
They
still
got
talked
that.
about Bolivia being won over by
Right.
mass, big time, and everyone was very excited about it. But
Yeah.
it was so much more when the coup happened.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So in a sense,
Yeah.
it isn't true because you literally just aren't
Thank
seeing half the
you.
story. Because to some degree,
Thank
most
you.
things are whatever goes up must come down, and you're just not seeing the other half. You're just not seeing the other half. So you think it's just all mounting all the time to an untenable situation, right? The Kira Bell Tavistock case has an appeal in a few days. In a couple of days from now.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that. No one's talking about that.
I'm
Hey
only
Kevin,
seeing
thanks
people,
for the raid. What are you saying?
I'm only seeing people not really sure what's going on with it. That's what I've seen.
Right,
about
literally,
it.
and it's
They
just...
don't know who's I haven't seen anyone who knows who's involved. in
So
the
I know
appeal.
the Good Law Project is on the good side.
Are they actually in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
appeal? Awesome. Okay. Well, fingers crossed. That fucking
Yeah,
rules.
it does fucking
I'll
rule,
be
and it's a big
looking forward
fucking
to-
deal, and I'm really excited about it. But like, yeah, we'll see what the result is. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily hopeful, but like,
Right.
you know, like I'm saying, Twitter doesn't fucking tell you any of this shit.
Yeah.
Twitter doesn't fucking tell you a single drop of this shit. So yeah, it's really easy to just be doomer, and then this is why I think there's a real correlation between the online leftists who are the most doomer. Firstly, the most doomer. Secondly, the most we can't do anything about how bad that everything is. Thirdly, the most online of anyone. And I'm hands up here. I'm incredibly online. It's a sickness. It's a problem for me. But like these people are the most online, and it's a state of mind, not just the amount of screen time, right? And like, it's really infected their brains. Like, And
Well,
and
it's
it's no
kind of-
coincidence because it's that feed, it's that mechanic where it's just feeding you this mindset. Well, I was talking about this just earlier today. Like the talk about things that are recuperated under capitalism is as if things that are that suffer capitalist recuperation become meaningless, as if LGBT rights mean nothing now because companies put rainbow flags
don't matter.
on their stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's become a liberal issue, and it's like, well, only if you let it be, man. Only if you decide it means nothing.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
also just like a style of contrarianness, which
Yeah.
means that and I think everyone's like vulnerable to it as well, but some people do it a lot more than others, where it's just like you're only validated if you like saying that everyone else is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's
for
really
getting behind anything.
one thing that's there big time is that like Marx's perspective, not through his whole life, but in Das Kapital, is that capitalism will collapse under its own weight, and then things will naturally kick off. And there is built into that for a lot of people who call themselves Marxists but don't know about Marx revising that perspective, saying that things will be
Seventh-day
different under different
Adventism
stuff.
style
Exactly, they take
waiting.
this evangelical rapture approach, just saying, I'll be proven right.
Right.
All these liberals who call themselves leftists, but then they spend their time talking about trans rights and cancelling me online, right? They'll be proven wrong
Right.
when the revolution just happens by magic.
Right, and when it's actually like history has so many points of rupture
Yeah.
where things have changed and things could have gone a different way, and capitalists have had to work very hard to prevent like uprisings or revolutions, or
Yeah.
they've failed, and then they've later managed to reclaim power from outside or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this concept called the propaganda of the deed. Okay, and it's essentially almost from a narrative perspective, the inciting incident. Okay, it's like something will happen, everyone will be watching, and then enough people, it's like critical mass, enough people will go, oh fuck no, let's go.
Right.
And then they're out in the street, and then it's game on, right? And it's just like with a yes-anding attitude, that could be the BLM riots. With a yes and attitude, right? These are things like society can change whenever there's a thing everyone's watching that everyone can, everyone pours out onto the streets and starts doing stuff, right? With that attitude,
Right.
but with a no, nothing will happen attitude, with an attitude that says the organization BLM Limited is funded by billionaires. Therefore, all things done by BLM are necessarily a neoliberal front, right? So therefore, nothing counts. With that attitude, no, nothing's ever going to happen. No,
Right.
you're never ever going to do anything
Instead
because
of-
you'll never lend your support to anything. Whereas with that yes-anding attitude, even if it doesn't turn out to be the big one, right? You get out there and you make some change, and the people who are out there protesting the issue that mattered to them that time saw that Marxists showed up for them.
Right.
The black people, in that case, the people who care about racial justice in general, right? But say the black community. Okay, the trans community are out marching, and then they see that Marxists care about them. Environmentalists are out marching, and then they see that Marxists care for them. And then
Yeah.
everyone comes out
Like-
together when there's another inciting incident, and it gets bigger every time, and that's how things change.
Lesbians and gays support the miners.
Lesbians and gays support the miners, exactly. Anyway, sorry, I've gone really far off from my video. So that's what I think the game is kind of getting at, when it comes to leftism. That we've just got to get our shit together, right? Basically.
Yeah. But also, that doesn't mean punishing or being down on yourself for what you haven't already done or what you wish you could be doing.
So this ties in very nicely to not next Monday, but the Monday after, as in not in 3 days, but in 10 days. I'm going to be doing my second political discussion stream with Jess, who might still be in the chat, and we are discussing 3 topics like we did last time. One of those topics is ableism, pronouns, and self-care, an activist's guide. How crucial all these things that are considered like social justice, liberal nonsense by a bunch of like real Marxists, how they are like completely essential in activist organizations, in marches and demonstrations, in getting things done.
In like sticking with it.
Last
for the long
time
term.
we discussed indigenous land rights, representation from a materialist point of view, which I have an essay on and I read on the stream, and conspiracy theories on the left. I've actually been reading a book I just started today called American Conspiracy Theories. I'm going to be doing like a larger theoretical work, I think. I'm kind of taken with it at the moment to do with conspiracy and some other topics. Anyway, last time, right? So last time, those are the topics we discussed. This time coming up, like I said, so we've got ableism, self-care and pronouns, and activist's guide. American colonies, like Puerto Rico. And the State Monopoly on Violence, a comparison between troops in Washington for Biden's inauguration and the fascist insurrection attempt. And I think those are all also really interesting topics, and I'm very excited to discuss them.
Someone earlier said about like not being able to do stuff obviously during the pandemic, and Lorcan saying the other thing about IRL organising is that groups will always need help, and even if you can't do much it will be appreciated. That's a really important thing. Like I started with London Renters Union, and like the whole half of the purpose of these, like half of the job of these organisations is thinking of really accessible things that new people can do to train them up, get them excited, get them feeling empowered by learning to do new things with an organisation and seeing what they can do for other people and what other people in the organisation can do for them. Like,
yes.
Like London Renters Union has been doing like all of its organising over Zoom, which has its own challenges, but also makes it really accessible for at least like some people who might not otherwise have had the time to come to stuff. And then like when we do get to like actually see each other in person at protests or eviction resistance and things, then it's really like just awesome. Awesome meeting all these like amazing people that you've been like talking and organising with online.
So I had a question. Someone was asking what my leftist affiliation is, and I just wanted to say that I'm an anarchist, but generally speaking I'm a non-denominational socialist, and here's why. Non-denominational socialism is genius, and here's why. Okay, firstly, I do think that there are strong advantages to both Marxism-Leninism and anarchism, various forms of anarchism, and honestly, especially with the way that like most anarchist models work, you got groups of people, bands of people organizing their communities the way they want and the way they think works best. So honestly, I don't think you can be an anarchist with most anarchist models and not think that other thing and think that you can prescribe how everyone's going to be, because the whole point is that people are going to democratically vote and decide how their society, how their community looks. As long as the Marxism-Leninism is not imperialist and is not enforcing itself and self-replicating, I think it's fine. I think that centralized state government of communism can be a really good thing, especially for example, disabled people, for example, trans people, right? People who need things, people who need society in a certain way. And I do think that this can mesh with a Kropotkin-esque kind of politics. But I describe this in Socialism in Space. I do think, it's entirely plausible you could have a centralized government kind of communism of an ML kind of variety that's very urban, and it mostly kind of exists in cities, and then there are lots of more kind of rural farming communities, countryside stuff that's doing a lot more agrarian anarchism. I think that's entirely plausible. A lot of the time people try to refute me when I say stuff like this by being like, no, I mean, I get this comment on Socialism in Space a bunch, like, no, anarchism doesn't oppose disabled people. You don't know what you're talking about, like, with disabled people and anarchism, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I am an anarchist. I prefer anarchism, like, ideologically, philosophically, all of these things, and I think it's entirely practical. And I'm also disabled and trans, and I don't like the idea of a whole world where you go between communities and they have like a negotiation for like, you can join us if you agree. This is how much work you will do. These are the rules. I'm like, no, no thanks. Like I say, there's a Kropotkin-esque kind of politics where it's just like everyone's given what they need on the basis of being a human being, and that's the kind of like anarchism that I sign up for. But a lot of times in practical discussions of anarchism, people are talking about like contracts of labor, and I'm really against that shit, because I think it's inherently ableist. Like, I get this comment and someone's like, disabled people could exist if a commune would have them, and it's like, okay, so they could exist if I mean that I've literally had this comment. Someone's been like,
Right.
disabled people can survive if. That's not okay. That's just not okay. And there it's like, okay, so in that case, if there's a centralized government that exists that provides for people by default, but there are some disadvantages to it, at least that's a safety net.
The way,
You know?
yeah, the way I
Some people
tend
will
to-
choose that instead, because, or most people will, honestly.
Yeah, the way I tend to visualize it is like there's lots of different kinds of resources and infrastructure that we need, right? And
Right.
all of these different things can operate at different scales. So you can have like massive organizations that deal with things that work much better at that like scaled up
Yes,
level,
right, exactly.
much more efficient and
Yeah.
require less work and resources to
Yeah.
share what people need on that level, and then the decisions that are, affecting people locally get made locally, right?
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I discussed a little bit of that on the Indigenous land rights part of the stream on Monday. Like, the concept is that people, like, have a vote in things that affect them. So,
Right.
like, when it comes to local matters, it's like, if the thing is something that's going to be built where you live, you get a say over that.
Right, and that should include, like, all infrastructure and resources that you use.
Absolutely.
Like, separate out that, like, consumer from producer kind of
Yeah, big time.
relationship.
I'm also, this is something I intend to touch on
Separate.
to some degree somewhere, I don't know, but like there's a lot of language of workers on the left, and it's just like, okay, but like and again, this is the conquest of bread model rather than the Marxist model. Like, we can't just focus on workers because there are people, then you're getting eugenicsy if you just don't account for the people who don't work and produce, and it's not just about those people. Society contains much more than that. Someone said, I didn't see the whole comment, but someone said there's an argument that Disco Elysium can reinforce someone who already has a very black pill perspective, and while I think that's true to some degree, and it's true because the developer was coming into it with a kind of black pillish perspective, and it was, like putting a bit of that in there, like, I think I would answer that by saying only as much as, only as much as all art has the potential to be misunderstood. See, I contrasted it very deliberately with Fallout New Vegas, which a lot of people consider like the greatest game of all time. And it's one of my favorites, absolutely. I fucking love it. And I, have done 2 videos about it. I love that game. But in the conscious design of the game, they have done nothing to stop someone who is a fascist coming along, playing the game, playing the fascist parts, and loving it, and they've literally not done those things because they haven't understood the fascist point of view, or they haven't accounted for the fact of how many people are fascists
Right,
in the
people
world.
who aren't fascists see fascism as self-evidently bad, but if
Exactly.
you just show fascism kind of as it is,
Right.
as absurd and
Whereas what
ridiculous
Disco
and ugly
Elysium
as it
does
is, they just
is
like it.
Whereas what Disco Elysium does is necessarily put you on the outside of racism by having the only successful racist not be white, right? And then all of the white racists are like gross little creeps. They're all Grima Wormtongues. And things like this, you know. So it's like, it does that well. But as to Black Pill, I think that like it too centrally has this message that like you just have to get your shit together. Honestly, I think that is just incredibly central to the thing. It just starts out with the character being like, I don't want to exist anymore, and so if you've got that Black Pill perspective, like that's appealing to you, and then the game is there to tell you, no, you have to get up and you have to exist.
Right, that's the thing, right? Like, no one and nothing are going to promise you any wins.
Right.
In, like, anywhere.
Right. And especially in the struggle for communism.
Right.
Right.
And the point is that you have to want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's what's right.
Right. So what I wanted to say was, I think that there's the potential for people who already have a Black Pill perspective coming to it and just reinforcing that Black Pill perspective. But I would say, basically I would say only as much as like all art can be misunderstood. It's not. That's why I'm contrasting it. Like, it's not like in Fallout New Vegas where if you're a fascist and you play the Caesar's Legion playthrough, you just had a great time, and so the game just endorsed fascism to you. It's more like, and it's hard to distinguish, but it's kind of like if you're. It's more like, I believe that 100% of fascists playing Fallout New Vegas could love playing the fascist run. But I don't believe 100% of people who are like Black Pill Doomer communists playing Disco Elysium would come out the other side. In fact, I believe the majority would change their mind and have their eyes opened a little bit, because the game is so inherently mired in depressive logic, and then comes out the other side and goes, get your fucking shit together. Just get your fucking shit together. I'm trying not to spoil too many things because Natalie hasn't played, and I really need her to play for our game design efforts. Like, it's her homework in terms of video games. But the revelation in the final bit after the deserter, after you come back and meet with the other cops, that Harry's ex-wife is not his ex-wife. She was just a girl he dated for a relatively quite short amount of time, and his life has been fucked up for years since because of this.
Oh no.
Okay? Is like, if you were, like, the game really systematically strips away every depressive excuse you have until the final thing, because it's also the first thing in the opening monologue.
Yeah.
The lizard brain says no ex-wives are contained within.
Wait, what's
right
that about ex-wives?
Exactly, right. It's the first thing you learn about Harry, and then it's the last thing that the game grabs and goes, fuck you, dickhead, she was just a girl you were dating for a few weeks, shut the fuck up, stop talking about her, and get your shit together, and you just have no excuses left.
That's so good.
And I think that's really deliberate, and so, like I say, it's there, the text is there, right? And I do believe most Black Pill Doomer communists playing that will look at that and it will change their mind. But if it doesn't, I say it's only as much as all art can be misunderstood, compared to Fallout New Vegas, where the text is just not there. If you are a fascist and you play as a fascist in Fallout New Vegas, nothing stops you and goes, that's wrong. Because every time that there's like slavery, there's cruelty, there's murder, there's imperialism, there's domination, there's genocide in Fallout New Vegas, the Legion go, this is the way we have to be hard to win and to create a stable society. And that's literally just what fascists believe. Like you said, it's self-evident to people who aren't fascists that fascism is bad. So when they see bad stuff, and then a guy going, I'm being logical, they go, that's a parody of fascism. Fascism sucks. But if you're a fascist, you see those two things together, and you're like, great, I've been legitimized. Whereas, like I said, if you're a fascist and you're like, hell yeah, racism, and then you meet Measurehead, he's like, your degeneracy has only worsened since the last we met. And your two options cognitively are to go, I am a piece of shit, I suck, right? And really confront that. Or to go, no, those arguments are wrong. And either way round, the fascist mindset is being really actively and actually challenged. So that's yeah, there you go. Sorry, that was a long rant, I know. But that's my answer to what I think about the kind of Doom a communist thing being reinforced by Disco Elysium. I think only as much as all art has that potential already. Is the short answer. I know I've said that like a few times already. I keep on looking to you, but you haven't played the game. I keep on looking to you and being like, so what do you think about it? You haven't
My
played
thoughts head empty, but I'm really excited to play the game, and I enjoyed your vid very much.
Anyway, I do like the final cut. I'm very happy with it. I'm really glad I'm really glad it really came together well. I feel like I made good progress. Hi, you want a money? Yeah, big time. Yes, absolutely. LMA, I could sit and listen to rants like that forever, basically.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I probably will come back and, oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much, Mandis Owen. Thanks for responding. I have to go to work, but that was a thoughtful response. I'm glad you liked it. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing more videos about Disco Elysium because there's like a lot in it, and I might do more to. I mean, this one was kind of just this video was like a lot about, as well as being about TTRPGs, was a lot about that Doom a Black Pill stuff, and I might come back and talk about race maybe. I didn't even talk about Franco Negro. Like, there are these things in the world of the game. What are they called? Like virtues? No, they're not called virtues. They have these names. I can't remember the fucking name that they're given, but Dolores Day is one of them. And then there's like Girl Child Revolution and there's Franco Negro. And they aren't inherently good. They're just human embodiments of important socio-political historical concepts. So they're not all inherently good. Right. They're just different things that you can learn about to... The Innocents, that's exactly what it is.
You got another donation.
That was the same one, wasn't it? Oh, it was. Oh, is another one?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, whoa! Whoa! Or is it just...
Are these just highlighted messages? I'm not seeing it in my Streamlabs feed.
Maybe it's just being...
I don't know what's going on. Anyway, The Innocents, Joe's right there. They're called The Innocents.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just coloured messages. That's what I thought. Very confusing.
Sorry.
Very strange. Thanks if you do intend to donate. Oh, no. Not political, but with the DE final cut adding voices to all the skills, what skills are you looking forward to hearing? Shivers, as I already said, is a great... It's a great skill, and I love the stuff that Shivers describes.
That voice, yeah.
This isn't a skill. Well, it is a skill, but the voicing of it is stuff that's is basically scenes, and it's called Esprit de Corps, and it's a skill that basically makes you feel more in touch with the precinct that you come from, and every time that it triggers, you get a little thought which like plays out a scene that's happening with some of the cops from your precinct. And so if you do that, so I'm looking forward to hearing those scenes voiced because some of them are really good. Some of them really are really good and quite fun.
I really love that the game is not like set in Britain or America, basically. That there's this like French cultural background, colonial background, like that.
Oh yeah, big time.
And I think putting it in that context that you don't that's sort of just slightly out of the cultural, like, hegemonic context for talking about politics.
Yes.
just inherently makes people so much more open-minded to political messages, because they're not so, like, you're not going to be so locked down in the status quo
That's what I mean about...
if you're not orienting yourself in your own country and what you think is, like, acceptable and legitimate.
That's what I mean about The Innocents and, like, Franco Negro. Like, I didn't have time to get into Franco Negro, for example, and The Innocent, you know, that Innocent is like a... can you talk about the Isolas and stuff? I would talk about that if I do this video about Disco Elysium and race, because, like, the way Disco Elysium handles race is so fucking fascinating, and I literally didn't touch on it at all if I like in this video. So I would totally, like, that's what I would do. So the second video, Disco Elysium and race, if I did it, when I do it, whatever, it would be about The Innocents, it would be about Franco Negro, it would be about the alternative world history, and it would be hugely about Kim. Because, like, Kim is an incredibly, like, restrained character, but there are, like, some really important moments. So I touched on, from Harry's perspective, the bit where Harry calls him a yellow monkey fucker, right? But I didn't read out the dialogue that Kim tells you after you do that, which is heartbreaking and excellent and really well put together, like, really, really good. Like, really, really cool. I would probably reference, I haven't finished reading it yet, I've only just started, but I'm reading Orientalism by Abd Said, and I would probably be referencing that a lot, because it seems honestly directly inspired. It feels like the other and the East and Orientalism and all this are, like, really embedded in Disco Elysium. So that's stuff that would definitely be coming up. Yeah. So there you go. That's it, basically. Sorry, what I keep on saying Franco Negro and not actually getting anywhere with it, but basically the Innocents all represent different socio-political and historical concepts, and Franco Negro is just their word for colonialism. It's an embodiment and a religious, a pseudo-religious embodiment, corporealization of the concept of colonialism.
Right.
And it's called Franco Negro because it's France's colonialism in Africa, is the point. But there is no France in their world, which is what's really, again, really cool about Disco Elysium's alternate history. This is why I want to do a video about it, because if you learn all of the lore of the world of Disco Elysium, you've actually learned you've learned the shape of world history and politics very, very accurately. You just don't have any of the words. Like, they've taught you all the relations between things, just without, you know? It's really good. It's really, really good. The stuff about Dolores Day was fascinating. Yeah, and then the way that they tie her to Harry's ex-girlfriend and basically depict her as Dolores Day. It's all really interesting stuff. So there you go. The first video was about the Duma Black Pill role-playing and Harry's perspective. That video, like I say, would be so heavily about Kim that by sort of contrast, or I mentioned Kim a little bit in this video, I'd probably be like, Kim! And, like, barely mention Harry.
Nice.
That's just how deep the game is, like, how much there is going on in it, that you totally can just do that. Like, you can just...
Yeah, that you could do a whole video about your...
Yeah, you can just completely ignore
patient
Harry
partner.
the second time. Like, yeah, it's really cool. I'm gonna remember that cigarette on the balcony for the rest of my life. I was devastated that you didn't do that every night of the game. The first night, after the first day, because the first day is by far the most eventful in everyone's playthrough, even though bigger things happen on every other day, the first day, because you're, like, learning the game and everything, so eventful. The game gives you this little respite where you get to just, like, have a cigarette with Kim on the balcony and review the case and get your head in order and just put it all together. It's a beautiful scene, and I think he says that because he says he smokes one cigarette a day, and he's like, let's review the case. So I was like, cool, okay, we get to do this at the end of every day. No, just once. I was devastated. I was like, I love Kim. I love this moment together. It's so good. What a letdown. Yeah. Aren't the protagonists of RPGs often forgettable? That was one of the things that's kind of a big drive of why I talked about Harry so much when I was talking about role playing this time, because it's just like he's just so fucking present, you know? Like you just can't get the fuck away from him. Like he's just so incredibly there the whole time. Like
You're hearing all his inner thoughts.
yeah, and like that's the thing that's really interesting. When you read his thoughts, you're hearing his thoughts, not when you say them. Like that's the thing that's like so with RPGs, it feels like most of the time with RPGs, when you choose to say a thought is when the thought has canonically happened.
Right.
But with Disco Elysium, any thought that appears on screen is in Harry's head.
That's really true.
And
because
if you choose to say it, then you said it. Oh my god, why the fuck did you say that?
right,
You know?
because generally in RPGs, those speech options are choices between your futures,
Yes.
and they're not choosing a thought to act upon.
Right. And this is why so much, as opposed to dialogue trees in Fallout 4, for example, instead of choosing yes, sarcastic yes, enthusiastic yes, and no, though that kind of thing does not happen in Disco Elysium. You know?
Right.
You get yes and no, and then you get some bullshit.
I fucking hate sarcastic yes. Like, God, get rid. Jesus, it's so annoying.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about posts. No. Any last thoughts people have? I'm happy to hear them, but like I'm conscious that it's nearly 11 and we should get on with the posts we have submitted and, you know, get to bed.
Yeah.
It is important.
I just, like Beef Tony said as well, like, I just want to say that is so fantastic for Harry's, like, characterization, because, yeah, you get inside the head of, like, it's normal enough. Obviously, some people struggle with it more than others, but to have a whole buffet of terrible thoughts floating around in your head, and actually the ones that you act on are the things that matter.
Yeah. I think that's super true. Because that's real. Like, that's just real. And also, like, depending on how you play Harry and as you bring him back together, like, and I say back together because he's had a breakdown, that's the point of the game. Like, as you progress through the game, you're drawing him back together into the person that he canonically was before to some degree, or had the potential to be before, and you've remolded him into this person now, you know? That's why so much of the game asks you, like, what you remember, as opposed to deciding who you're going to be from now on.
Right.
Even though that's what it is. But, yeah. Any thoughts on how Harry's bisexuality is explored? I have loads of thoughts on that. So, it's about this concept that I was discussing with a trans friend the other day. The concept of skin in the game, right? So basically, for those who don't know, you have a thought you can insert. Okay, for those who don't know, let me give you more context in case you haven't played the game. There's a thing called the Thought Cabinet. This is how you can become a communist or whatever, or an art cop, or whatever you want to become, or all the copo types of this as well. The Thought Cabinet is basically thoughts that you internalize. It takes some time for you to properly process them and think them over, and they give you stat bonuses and debuffs once you've done that, and also while you're doing that. So basically, thinking about it is called a problem, and it usually gives you just a debuff. And then solving it usually gives you a buff, but can also give you a different debuff, or the same one, or whatever. So for example, there's one that's called, I think, Doors, and it's triggered when you try the door that you can't open, and after like 10 hours in game of thinking about it, Harry comes to the conclusion, oh right, there are some doors I can't open. That's okay, I can live with that. And it's like, and it gives you, you know, a bonus to this isn't a real skill, but like inner peace, kind of thing like this. One thought that you have if you encounter a character voiced by Virgil Texas from Chapo Trap House and Bad Faith Pod, who plays the cigarette smoker on the balcony. Is because the character is gay and has had his Sunday friend over. Harry hasn't encountered a gay person before since his breakdown. That is, Harry hasn't encountered a gay person in the playthrough, which is his entire experience of life because he has total amnesia. So he has a thought that you can internalize called the homosexual underground, which is, am I gay? Right? And so this is what the concept is. This is where I bring in the concept of skin in the game, right? Because Harry, if he concludes this thought, is I should stop thinking so much about people's sexualities. But it's also, yeah, since I asked, I probably am at least bisexual, right? So Harry is like canonically, potentially bisexual if you're interested enough to care about it, but the game tells you that it's not going to be a thing that matters. You're not going to have romance, it's not going to, right? The game is telling you it doesn't matter that way and you shouldn't think so hard about it. Mm-hmm. Which is really interesting because Harry, as a 40 or 50 something rancid alcoholic mess, is not someone who's involved with, quote unquote, the homosexual underground. He's a fucking cop.
Right.
He's not someone who, to get back to the point, has skin in the game. It doesn't matter. He doesn't know if he's bisexual. He's so hung up over this woman, right? For all intents and purposes, he is kind of just straight. Now, that's not to say that someone who's bisexual who doesn't have experience or is in a straight relationship or whatever is straight. It's to say that for the intents and purposes of Harry's character, he has a different experience of queerness to the cigarette smoker on the balcony or anyone else like this, right? A fundamentally different experience, and that's what the game reflects, and that's an incredibly deep level of queer theory understanding for a game that otherwise doesn't really engage with the topic at all. Well, that's really cool.
What I'd say, as it comes across to me, David Lynch's movies, where he has loads of queer stuff.
Do you mean Cronenberg?
Cronenberg, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I meant Cronenberg.
Right.
He has loads of queer stuff in the movies, but it feels very much and at least mostly straight, maybe bi-curious, someone who might describe themselves as bi-curious.
Right.
Perspective that's ooh, doesn't men kissing shock you? Isn't that exciting?
Hope this doesn't awaken something in me.
Right, or ooh, I really hope this awakens something in me, but not from it doesn't feel like it's coming from a queer experience.
Or for that matter, Charlie Kaufman's explorations of gender, exact same thing, where it's just well then, come out or don't, pick one.
I give Kaufman more
Oh shit, thing's trapped.
Cronenberg definitely feels more on one side of that than Kaufman, I think.
I gotta stop trying this chest now because I keep on taking damage when I try it.
Oh no.
That's fucked up. Bloody hell, Harry. Harry!
Posts?
We can do posts if that's the last question we've got. I hope that was an adequate answer. I don't think it's as I said, it just doesn't cover touch on the topic other than that. But it honestly did a more in-depth demonstration of its understanding of queer theory than a lot of games that do thoroughly touch on the topic. So I was very impressed by it, but it wasn't enough that would be a video topic in the same way that race is a really important thing in the game. Yeah, so that's basically my thought. It's really interesting, but it's a thought. It's not a full fleshed out system and part of the world, unfortunately. Yeah, let's give that a go. If you look in filth posting, some people have been submitting stuff for a little while.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. My favorite joke in the video was when I edited the guy from the Great Khans. It's not going to be a video then. No, Queerness in Disco Elysium is not like video length worthy. It's not. I don't have it. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't have enough thoughts on it, but also I don't think that it's that there is enough of it in the game for it to be.
I'd rather talk about queerness than Cronenberg movies because
If I was
actually
gonna,
think it's
honestly, yeah, yeah. But my favorite joke was and I edited the guy from the start of New Vegas to go, what?
I love that.
I said this on my last stream, but this is like, it's based on one of my favorite pieces of like my favorite like small detail of Fallout New Vegas, which is that like those guys look fucking ridiculous, but you realize later in the game that they're addicts and that they're high in that scene, which like completely changes your rewatch of the scene, because like the two guys, one of them's going like, and then the other one's giving you like the proper Kubrick stare the whole way through, and like when you meet those guys later in the game, they have drugs on them, and then you also find out that like Khans are generally like high on stuff all the time, so you're just like, oh shit, they were high, I get it. Like it's really good. It's really good. There's another guy over here. There's 3 more guys. I thought it was just one guy, but it's 3. Woo.
Searching for those posts.
Okay. You gonna read me them?
I'm searching for them.
Okay. You gonna read me them though?
Well, I need to find one first.
Uh-huh. Does this game have story? No, not really. That's why I like to play it while we're doing the post stream, because it's just like it can just kind of be on while we're chatting.
Background game.
Yeah, I think having this discussion was also useful because it made me realize why I brought these topics together in the way I did, because that is what was so, like, they are intrinsically linked. The TTRPG, the role playing of Disco Elysium, and Harry's Black Pill Doomer bullshit, because they are just like, that's the character you're dealing with and the message of the game, and they kind of only could have done it through really good tabletop role playing style role playing.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that they did that. It's really awesome, like, so many... You can and do get in a gunfight, but, like, it's just not... I don't know, it's just so interesting, like, the vast majority of games, of video games, just at all, are just, like, involve combat and specifically gunfighting, and, like, the one gunfight in the game is, like, I don't know. Also, for those who know about Ruby, I've save scummed that bit, and like, there's nothing you can do, and that really got to me. I was going to include it in the vid, but like, yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, like you can succeed, it's a really hard roll, and then you still fail. It's fucked up.
You can do your best, and your best still isn't enough to impress this woman.
You're thinking of Lillian.
Oh right, not the
one you're on a date. Yeah.
Right.
No. Yeah, Natalie really liked the bit I put in the video of this is me save scumming to try and say something nice on a date. No, this is another bit you don't know about, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Right.
For those who know, you can't do anything. You can't succeed even if you succeed in that role, and that's like really powerful, I think. Yeah. Kind of shows you that your choices, I don't know, the game really deepens its own like notions of choice and role playing and success, because in that moment it's a choice. I'm not spoiling for something for you right now, but so it's like it's a choice between two things, and one is like objectively better and you would rather happened, but you think there's a third option where it can work out the best possible for you, but trying to get that option will only result in the worst one. And it's really cool. I can't tell you.
Yeah, no, sounds really good though. And yeah, really sounds like TTRPG storytelling.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
you can succeed at the role,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that you succeed in your intentions.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you get what you want.
Yeah. And following on from that, the Ruby thing has an effect on the gunfight, which, like, either of the two actual possibilities that are actually possible mean the same thing for the gunfight, i.e. that you can't vouch for whether, like, you can't properly vouch for Ruby's involvement. And yeah, it's good. It's just really fun. It's a really fun game.
I have a post from Lorcan.
Oh, great.
Am I the asshole for expecting my daughter to attend college?
During a pandemic,
I'll try to keep this short. My daughter still lives with the family at 21, pays her rent, food, keeps her space clean, etc. Basically, a good tenant, if you get me.
a good tenant. Oh, good. That's a good start.
Good
That's
start.
a good start. Mhm.
She was planning to move out last year, but that fell through due to COVID. We are letting her live with us while this whole pandemic is a thing. Not getting better. The problem is, I proposed that she attend online, obviously. College, if she wants to stay here. I've been telling her since...
If she wants to stay here.
Right.
Wait, is this guy threatening his daughter with homelessness?
I've been telling her since she turned 18, and now that her stay is extending with us, I feel I need to put my foot down. Can you wait till after the pandemic? She doesn't want to. I'm going to be blunt here. She makes more than her mother and I combined just drawing furry porn. Oh my god, hell yeah. Okay. Well, then why would she waste her time?
He wants her to stop drawing porn. Surely, right? It's that he wants her to stop drawing
propose
porn.
that if she wants to study some fucking obscure bullshit at university, she should do that. But she should not study anything that she can make any kind of money from, because she already has an excellent job.
I completely agree. And yeah, if she's making more money than her parents combined, then yeah, she should enrich her life whatever way she feels like.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I've absolutely had like family try to like push me in directions of careers that they just feel are more like normal, more respectable, and from my perspective are just more miserable. And a big part of it, like, it ends up feeling like they want everyone to kind of be suffering in their job a little bit, and specifically be suffering in their job in the same way.
Right, they can't even understand
Because, like,
the unique, weird suffering that your
Right, because
job
that's the thing.
contains.
There are downsides to every job, but the thing is, I have a personality disorder that, like, when I try, and a part of it, right, like, the basis of it is I just have real strong feelings and abandonment issues, but the really kind of the knock-on effect when it comes to work is that, like, I can end up in a situation where I'm having panic attacks multiple times a day, especially in like a high pressure office environment, that, like, and so because of that, like, where my family have tried to talk to me and get me to do certain kinds of jobs before, that from their perspective, like, you suffer a little bit in this specific way, it's like, no, I suffer an enormous amount in a similar but different way, right? And it's not fucking tenable to me. By comparison, I suffer, you know, the normal amount, right? Doing a job that, you know, is really rewarding to me and I actually like and I make money doing. Like, yeah, just, you know.
I'm not...
People are just really weird about that. And especially I feel like the older generations are. I was saying this to a friend the other day, but, like, my brother's 15 years older than me. When he moved to London, the price of bread was 3 times lower.
Shit.
When I moved to London, 15 years after when he moved to London, the price of bread had tripled. And he was giving me advice about how to exist and how to live and how to get by based on his experience from when the price of bread was 3 times less, you know? And it's just, you know, sometimes it's just not applicable because of the way that things just get squeezed. And I just feel like this is the same fucking thing, where it's just like, okay, that's a bit unusual, but if she likes doing it, and it's making her tons of money,
Hell fucking yeah.
maybe the first thing that goes out of the window when a fucking entire generation has their job prospects just eviscerated by free market capitalism.
And a fucking pandemic.
Maybe the first thing that goes out of the window is like respectability of your chosen career, like in favor of other prospects, like choosing your own hours, being really well paid, like all these bonuses that the job of drawing furry porn has. Sorry, I've gone on a really serious long tangent about furry porn, but like you should carry on reading.
Well, they say, I'm not here to judge.
Great.
Good for her doing something with her talent.
Uh-huh.
The issue is that that's all she wants to do. Okay. All she wants to do is make YouTube videos.
It's silly as hell.
She thinks she doesn't need to attend college. Sure, sounds like she does not. Just
again,
because
she's earning loads of money, so
she has this side gig going on.
it's not a side gig. It's earning more money than you both. Sorry. Okay. Right. Sorry.
If she doesn't attend college, what's she gonna do in 5 years? I doubt these furry people who are paying her will still exist by then.
Where do you think they will go?
There'll be more of them. The worst of it, she will not have any work experience. She will have to explain. I mean, she'll have a massive art portfolio.
Right.
She can do other kinds of art as well.
Yeah.
Not like, you know,
Say for
if she gets bored or it dries up or whatever.
Yeah. Dries up, lol.
The worst of it, she will not have any work experience. She will have to explain why she has had no jobs and no schooling outside of high school. This is so frustrating to me. At some point, she's going to have to get an actual job. Why?
She's earning more money than her parents combined.
And the more time goes in, the harder it's going to get. She's already 21 and never been to college, while here high school peers are graduating. She just won't budge, and it's gotten to a point where instead of doing something useful for her future, she wants to move out anyway. Ha! 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 It's gotten to a point where I'm losing my leverage over her to try and make her have the life I want for her.
This post owns really hard.
Yeah. Thank you, look. During a pandemic, I might add. Yeah, she's calling their bluff. They're like, we're going to kick you out in a pandemic if you don't go to college.
And she's just like, I earn more than both of
okay.
you, so I'll move out.
And they're like, shocked
Fine.
Pikachu face. There's a pandemic!
Incredible.
Because her mother and I are so controlling. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're trying to force her to, like, do a serious thing that'll take up loads of
Also,
time.
how fucking miserable, like, not even just... You should explore other things.
Right.
Diversify,
But
and
just,
then
like,
you can adapt if you ever
specifically,
need to.
You have to go to college, like, fucking hell.
Do online classes during a pandemic, like the most miserable possible time to do it, where you don't even have the advantage of like meeting
seriously.
interesting new people, being away from home, like ugh.
Thanks, I hate it.
So controlling. We are not. We just care for her and want her to have a good future. But if she moved out, I'm afraid that's not going to happen. She will just continue to be irresponsible by paying her bills. Am I the asshole? Yes. Very simple.
Very, very much so, yes.
That was a great one. Thank you.
That was an
Andrew.
awesome post. Did you say Andrew? Lorcan again.
Lorcan, sorry.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Ah.
Ridiculous. Speaking of Andrew and others, we do have guests on the Poster Stream sometimes, for those who are new here and don't know. And, you know, we'll probably have that next week. But again, this one's going to be a shorter one this week, so that's why we're not having guests today. Oh, also speaking of Lorcan, because Lorcan's on it tomorrow, and Joe, we're playing Among Us tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT.
Hey.
We're going to play some Among Us, so
Whoa.
all come check that out.
Am I playing Among Us?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes. You just have to not rat on me if I'm the imposter.
Oh yeah, how am I going to do that?
Well, you'll be on the other screen over there.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds fine. What? Oh, baby. That's fun. Yeah, college is a scam. I'm over it. That's the attitude. That's it. I'm gonna Dublin the heck out of your spaceship. What does that even mean?
Here is an Am I the Asshole from Wint.
Uh-huh.
Am I the asshole?
Hennement, I think, if they're in chat.
Thank you very much. Am I the asshole for telling my BF I won't stop drinking hot tea? Doesn't sound like
If
it.
you spilled the hot tea on him multiple times and he's complained, then yes, I guess that's the one I could construct. That's the one I could construct, but it's much more likely to be some sort of really weird BF.
Yeah. It seems that
Your
way.
face, holy shit.
I'm just puzzling this
It's
out,
sounding
really.
like it might well be a really weird BF.
Sorry, but this isn't old. I had to make one because my boyfriend and his friends are borderline harassing on all my social media. I don't want him to know about this.
What the fuck?
Anyway, I like tea. I have about 3 to 4 cups of hot tea. I have about 3 to 4 cups of hot tea a day. That's not that much at all. That's a very normal amount.
My mum has maybe that many before breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, my mum drinks to be
Change
fair,
things.
my mum does drink a lot of tea, but yeah, that's not a day, 3 or 4 a day. It's just not.
Tea brings me so much happiness and peace. I won't go into details, but just know it brings me back to a lot of happy memories from my childhood.
You don't need it's just tea.
I'm just already astounded at how terrible this boyfriend is, that
Yeah.
they feel they need to justify and explain that they enjoy tea
yeah, this
to
sucks.
such an extent. My boyfriend, whom I will call Josh, didn't mind my tea drinking.
Fuck Josh.
How could anyone mind someone drinking tea? Our first date was even at a tea house. He doesn't drink as much as me, but will have a cup in the morning.
Joe says Rhiannon Ghost wrote this. Fucked up that she misgendered you the whole way through the post. That. Go on. What were you saying?
He doesn't drink as much as me, but will have a cup in the morning, or if I offer to make him a cup. Recently, Josh went to the hospital complaining of pain, and they found out he had a pretty sizable kidney stone.
Oh no.
Yeah. Thankfully, they said he would pass it on his own. Gave him some meds and a list of things to eat or drink. You know, the do's and don'ts of what causes kidney stones. Well, I woke to make my morning cup of tea, and the kettle was gone. I looked everywhere and couldn't find it, so I asked Josh. He said he threw it out because tea was on his list of things that could cause kidney
So
stones.
he doesn't have to
Okay,
have
what the
the tea then. What? But he just doesn't have to have the tea. No one's making him have the tea. And he says that she has to stop having the tea? This
didn't-
guy's nuts. What the fuck?
He didn't want the temptation around anymore, and even went so far as
The
to blame
tempt-
me for the stone.
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god, this guy.
I love my boyfriend, however,
This is a type of guy.
I can't have the thing I only have occasionally. You can't have the thing you love and have multiple times a day.
You can't have the thing you have 3 or 4 times a day. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Come on.
I do my best. Oh, I love my boyfriend, however, we have totally different diets. I do my best to drink plenty of water, avoid fast food, and always cook for myself. If I order out, I try to find a healthy choice in the menu. I'm working on losing some weight, so I do my best to stay on track. Josh pretty much pisses Red Bull, Mountain Dew, and Dr. Pepper. He loves junk food and will opt for greasy fast food over grilled chicken I made for dinner. It's rare to see him drinking water. In fact, he has his own little mini fridge fully stocked with soda and Red Bull. I told him that it wasn't my problem that he had kidney stones, and that me having a cup of tea wasn't going to ruin anything. He snapped and said that as his boyfriend...
Walker says, OP is a guy, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't... Okay.
He snapped and said that as his boyfriend, I should go through this with him because we're a couple.
Lorcan says, also,
Sucks.
now you can't boil water conveniently. Yeah, like, now you just don't have a kettle anymore? Fuck. That's fucked up. Like, okay. Sorry, yeah.
I need to give up my tea so he'll get better.
He's having, hang on a second. He has constant Red Bull,
Right,
and he thinks the problem is the tea.
right.
He has Red Bull, like, maybe as much as she has tea.
He has tea.
No, maybe as much as she has tea. Like, she was like, sorry, oh fuck. Yeah, sorry. As much as OP has tea. Like, OP was like, he pisses Red Bull, right? So,
Yeah,
he maybe has Red Bull as much as he has tea,
right.
and then he's like, the problem is the tea,
Yeah.
that I occasionally have one.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
Nah.
It
nah,
really,
nah.
literally just sounds like he's like,
Experiencing
this
limitations, so his
isn't
BF
fair,
has to as well.
so
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
have to punish
Yeah.
my boyfriend
Yep,
in
yep,
some
yep.
way. Have
Yep.
to find a reason and a way that I can make my boyfriend suffer,
Yeah, that's fucked.
so that I can feel like I can carry on through this like annoying restriction.
That's completely fucked.
Absolute bullshit.
Uh,
Instead of, healthy coping strategy like, hey, this is hard. Give me some love and support, please.
Rhiannon messaged through Joe's account and said if someone got rid of my kettle, I'd definitely dump them. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's like,
That's
honestly,
fucked up.
throwing out someone's kettle without them asking just is completely fucked. Like, that's
yeah.
nah. That's nah. The verdict is Midsommar. It's Sever, I think. I think it's a Sever.
Yeah.
We don't have to, guys. We don't have to escalate absolutely everything to an 11. It's a Sever.
It's highly red flag.
It's
like,
a Sever. It's a Sever. Okay.
Extremely nasty, passive aggressive kind of behavior.
Yeah, it's fucked. I hate it.
He even said he asked his mum if she wanted the tea I had in the apartment so he wouldn't have to see it. Again, I said that a cup of tea didn't cause his stupid kidney stone, that
Yeah.
him drinking up to 6 Dr. Peppers a day did, and I will not stop having a cup of tea
6
because
Dr.
of
Peppers
him.
A day. Yeah,
I am
Fucking
not
knew
responsible for his health.
I fucking knew it. God damn.
After that, I took my tea, my stuff, and went back to my apartment.
Oh,
We don't live
God.
together, just stay over sometimes.
Right.
He sold his fucking kettle that they don't even share.
Wait. Speaking of living together, Joe and Rhiannon, I'm super excited for you two. Congratulations on moving in together. That's super cool. When we moved in together, well, it was a stressful time because of rent, but like, it's an exciting time, and I'm hyped for you. And we had that time kind of twice over because we had that when we moved in, and then like once Ash left, and now we have the place together. Like,
Yeah.
it's an exciting time. It's very cool. I'm hyped for you. That's really awesome. I just wanted to say, congrats to you and hype.
Super exciting.
Was there more of the post?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since then, Josh, his friends, and even his mum have been blowing me up on social media and my phone.
Oh
They're
my
calling me
God.
awful things, saying I'm selfish and should be thinking of Josh in his time of need. Dump, 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 dump. All these people are awful. He's surrounded himself with awful people that they all suck.
Rhiannon says, "Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. It's been really soft and lovely so far." Yeah. Well, along with Ash moving out, I've been transitioning, so we've been discovering being lesbians living together. So I feel like it's a very similar,
Great
soft
time.
and lovely experience. It is good. Joe says Midsommar, and we don't have to Midsommar every guy.
I do hate this person.
I hate him too. I just don't think it's a Midsommar.
We need to.
I just think we
We
have
need
to
to
have.
pace ourselves, right?
We have to. That's exactly it. That is exactly it. That's exactly it. We can't just get so excited over every post. You all will learn this temperance when you are experienced posters and post experiences as I am. You'll learn. When you're as much of a connoisseur of posts as I am, one day.
Edit. So last night I drank some wine, curled up in my bed, and cried myself to sleep. I felt like my world was ending and it was all my fault. This sucks because you can see their whole dynamics so plainly through the lines, and it sucks.
That's honestly completely true. Pardon my ignorance, what's Midsommar? Midsommar is a movie where at the end a girlfriend has her boyfriend sewn into a dead bear and set on fire and burned alive while he's paralyzed by a drug. So there's Sever, and then there's Murder, and then there's Midsommar. Okay, so there's this these are the verdicts on the posts. Like, partners are being awful, so you should sever, or partners are being the worst and will never get better, so you should murder, or partners are being the worst and need cosmic retribution, so you should Midsommar.
Kept thinking of how can I fix this, and then I realized that I can't. Josh did blow things out of the water.
You can't fix Josh. He is the worst. That's what's going on.
I'm just too much of a damn softie. It seems clear that Josh thinks he can get away with, like, treating him like shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then trying to tell him that it's his own fault. I texted him this morning telling him it's over and to either come get his things or I'm going to just leave them on the steps. I also updated and posted all my social media about what happened, that we're broken up now.
Just hang on a second. Did Josh throw out... No way. Josh threw out his own kettle. No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he threw out his kettle that they don't even share because they don't even live together. But they share when he's over. That's how it sounds.
Josh threw out OP's kettle at his house.
Yeah.
That's like a really hostile move within the relationship as well.
Right. I think it was at Josh's house, right?
That's what I'm saying.
OP was staying at Josh's house and brings his kettle.
Hey Morrigan,
It's
good to see
kinda
you.
how it
Morrigan
sounded,
says, "Hiya all, how's the post-harvest coming in tonight?"
Pretty
It's
good.
just a short one, but it is going well. We started with the Amanda Palmer tweet and a full breakdown of its legitimacy. It was good.
Oh, it's great.
It was good.
That was like so much better than I even anticipated.
Yeah, it was that's the thing. It was
I'm grateful for that article.
It was the exact right amount of weird lie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm so glad it wasn't even just like totally made up. It was just like a really weird exaggeration.
Just the exact right amount of fucked up. Like hey babe, why did you do that?
I'm so chuffed to be validated on like just everyone's first instinct being like, seems like a lie.
Just knowing.
That really seems like a lie.
Just knowing for sure that it's but also like that really seems like not completely a lie, but like a really weird and specific exaggeration.
You're just like, I guess like you could imagine that being true, but it seems like a lie. I updated and posted on my social media about what happened, that we're broken up now, and if the messages continue, I will make steps to contact the police for harassment. They're probably being harassed.
Seriously. So hang on. So Josh et al. is now like they're all harassing him for breaking up, basically.
Yeah, for wanting to leave whilst Josh is suffering with kidney stone pain, I suppose, and treating him like shit.
Yeah, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Being an asshole.
Yeah.
I just honestly like even when there are friends who are being the worst, like I don't feel like it has to be like pretty extreme for you to like as a friend like step in and
yeah, absolutely,
and so like someone
like enormous, like
really don't like that,
really weird asshole behavior.
I feel like this really speaks to Josh being quite terrible. He's
Yeah.
probably lied to his friends about the way that OP is behaving.
That was also my assumption, that he's at least like massively exaggerated what happened.
I'm gonna escalate it from a sever to a murder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it up.
Yeah, to get all these people like harassing,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what?
him. Yeah.
You know what? It's still not a Midsommar. We can't just Midsommar everybody.
Yeah.
That's not a solution. We can't just Midsommar
Murder though.
everyone. But murder. This one's a murder, I'd say.
All of this made me see that for our whole relationship, I've been Josh's freaking doormat. I'm not going to do that anymore. Thank you so much, everyone. I really needed someone to someone to say, wake up and smell the tea. Josh is single if anyone wants him. He likes soda, Red Bull, American Dad, and not cooking. Thanks again. I'm flattered that everyone thought I was a girl. That gave me a bit of a laugh too and cheered me up. Now I'm going to get ready for work, drink my morning tea, and have an amazing day. Reddit, you always have the best people in the world willing to help a complete stranger see the light. Edit 2.
The American Dad. Sorry, you can't.
You're just like, no, too much.
You're just really trying to make me want to Midsommar. Gosh, like you're just really
just leveling it up every second.
Yeah, like every new line of the post, you're just like, okay, but how will I make Sophie want to Midsommar this guy?
Edit 2. I just want to let everyone know that yes, I'm okay, and thanks for those who recommended tea brands to me.
Aww.
That's really cute. I will be getting these on Amazon. Josh has till 9 tonight to get his crap from my apartment, or else it will be going in the trash like my kettle. He's messaged
That
me.
is fair.
He's messaged me a few times saying he's sorry, it was a mistake, it was a prank, he loves me, etc.
Okay, this guy is a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Absolute asshole. Not go. What happened? Thanks again for support and love. Oh, I'm making you a pretty girl. Tell me I'm pretty. In the comments, someone's like, it's strange his friends are harassing you on social media over something so petty. I suspect he's told them a different story,
Yes.
which could be another concern. And he replied, I'm sure he told them a different story based on some of the messages and comments I've received.
Cool.
Jesus.
Love that. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
God damn it. God fucking damn. Josh. That Josh. Oh, baby. There we go. There we go. Oh! Yeah, I'm good. Yes. Look, guys, Josh is clearly the worst, but it's a murder will do. It really is enough to murder him. I'm so, it's enough. Murder, just kill him. Just a little kill. Just a little kill. It's fine. It's enough. Oh, baby. This game's great. Oh, God. And he just, what an asshole. What an asshole. That's all. That's the whole thing. That guy sucks. What if we murder by burning him? No bad, just fire. No. It's sniper rifle. That's the assumed murder of murder. He's taken out. Quickly and painlessly. Done. Piss. Piss! Oh my god. Oh, that fucking blows. God damn. God damn. This panther. You got more posts?
I just saw a sad one.
Don't read a sad one. It's only a short, stream today, so don't bother with it. That's my advice. God damn it! I'm getting owned right now. What?
Am I the asshole for telling my future sister-in-law that I won't be attending her child-free wedding, causing a lot of my other family members to drop out as well?
Oh! That took a bit of a turn. So, okay, let me think this one through. Okay, so this person clearly has kids.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to have to arrange childcare.
Yeah.
And also finds it, annoying and weird to be, doing that thing.
Yeah.
Has said no, but this has caused a revolt among the guests.
Oh, and they're all yeah, okay. I think it's an asshole thing to do to have a child-free wedding.
I guess I would say if there are enough guests that it causes a problem when you have a child, when they all drop out of your child-free wedding, you were the asshole for having a child-free wedding.
Yeah.
I think that's because if you're mostly, that's the thing. Okay. I think this is fair to say. If your friend group, social group, family, all this is generally speaking, there are no young children, and then one or two people have kids, and to those people, you're just we want to have a more adult kind of party. Would it be okay if you can organize childcare for that time? I don't think personally. I'm not
right.
Now, as opposed to saying,
this person says having a child-free wedding is only okay if you're fine with people not coming.
That's one part. Cecil, you're right.
Right.
That's one part. But having a child-free wedding, that's the distinction, right? I'm saying in that situation, your cousin and your friend have kids, and to your cousin and to your friend, you're can you arrange childcare? If not, it's okay if you don't want to come. It's going to be a very adult thing, so we can't really have kids there, and that's all right. And that's as opposed to
we're having a child-free
saying
wedding.
RSVP, we're having a child-free wedding. It's
Lockhart just said he got heckled by a child during his best man speech.
So I'm not saying I'm not saying there aren't good reasons to exclude children.
So, my future sister-in-law is marrying my brother next summer, and they're planning to have a child-free wedding. I have about 3 other sisters, and we all have kids, as do most of my cousins at this point. Our family is kind of spread out over the country, so that sucks, right? They're making people probably stay away from their families in order to go to this wedding. You're supposed to, that's way too much. That's not going out to a restaurant for the evening you arrange childcare. That's, staying overnight places.
Yeah.
And my brother / sister-in-law's wedding is out of state for most of us. If people are traveling out of state, you can just arrange childcare if you don't
Right. Yeah.
and you arrange childcare for specific parts, right? The kids can be present for some bits and not for other bits if you want to have different, environments. Once I found out they wanted to make it child-free, I began to lose interest in going to the wedding.
Once I found out they wanted to make it r/child-free.
Right. Once I found out they actually didn't want half their family at the wedding.
Right.
I don't want to be away from my kids for a couple of days, and it is just a hassle to find them living arrangements for when my husband and I are gone, especially since most of our adult family members will be at the wedding.
Yeah.
We'd have to leave the kids with some friends. However, I get that it is her wedding and her decision, so I just declined to go, stating that I don't want to leave my kids alone without any family to watch them.
Yeah.
Highly legitimate.
Yeah.
After I dropped out, my sisters got the courage to drop out as well, as they also have toddlers they didn't want to leave behind for a couple of days. Then my cousins began declining to come as well. Now it has become a huge deal in the family and caused a lot of drama. My brother has called me and yelled at me saying that I was the one who caused all the problems. Literally no, if everyone else is making the same decision, it means it was like something that they were struggling
It's
with.
honestly
in the first
sad
place
that
they didn't want to
OP
do.
has like internalized this lie to the
Yeah.
degree that OP put in the title, like, am I the asshole by causing guests to drop out? That's not true.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They simply didn't cause guests to drop out.
They're unionizing. Okay, I was firm when I told him I wasn't going to his wedding unless I could bring my kids. Like that's their choice. They
Yeah.
made their choice.
So legit.
And that all our sisters and cousins pretty much felt the same way. My parents, who are paying for half of their wedding, are also pissed that so many family
Okay.
members on our side aren't coming. They were already somewhat against the idea of a child-free wedding in the first place, and have now started pressuring sister-in-law to not make it child-free.
Weddings are honestly so weird, and so many of the posts about weddings contain such weird shit that, like, is just a normal wedding tradition, but just like, you know, the parents are paying for half of the thing or whatever, and it's like, oh my god. Well, look at the family dynamic strain that's being put on the situation by the parents being expected to pay for whatever. Like, you know, so many
Yeah.
wedding traditions are awful.
Well, I think I like the good shit IMO is when you have the whole family contributes to the cost of the wedding, and then people
Or
can
contributes stuff to the
have
wedding.
and then everyone can have a great
Mhm.
time, even with like fewer resources
big time.
and stuff.
Big time.
My sister-in-law refuses to meet in the middle and says the wedding will remain child-free. She's also mad at all of us for not coming. Well, you can't make people come to your party if you tell them that they're not allowed to, like, have their tiny baby children
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah. Cecil Young says, Midsommar, the concept of the conventional wedding. The concept of the conventional wedding is Midsommar, that's my point. It's a deadly and terrible tradition. Cult-like. Everyone dresses up in white. Everyone suffers.
She also still expects my parents to help pay for it, which I doubt they'll do at this point, lol. I'm fine with her having a child-free wedding. I just don't want to be a part of it if it means being away from my kids for days. Am I the asshole?
No. Shocker here. No.
Just like...
Nope. Absolutely not. Fuck that.
People need, like, childcare support and shit at the very least. And if you can't help them with that and give them solutions for that,
Yeah.
then you can't expect anything from
This
them.
isn't unreasonable. Yeah.
Edit. People keep asking why I'm mostly talking about my sister-in-law and not my brother in the post. I know for a fact my brother was okay with having kids at the wedding. It's the norm in our family, and he loves his nieces and nephews. It's my sister-in-law who wants this to be a child-free thing,
Cool.
against the wishes of like 95% of our family, and still have my parents foot the bill. My
Cool.
brother is just supporting her to make her happy.
Okay.
Edit. She has an entire 4-day itinerary planned
No.
with like 6 events.
No, nightmare wedding.
That
no.
she expects to all be child free.
No, nightmare wedding. No, absolutely not. No.
And like that's
no.
a 4-day itinerary, which means travel the days either side of it, right? That's like a whole fucking week.
Yeah. No.
Are all of us with toddlers?
On its own, you describe that idea to me, I'm like, I'm not going to that wedding. You couldn't pay me enough to go. No. Fuck that. Absolutely fucking not. That is a terrible wedding I would not go to.
Damn it.
Just on the 4-day itinerary of events on its own, no. Absolutely fucking not.
Are all of us?
I mean it. It would have to be cash in hand for me, with the option that I can leave still cash in hand at any point. That's the contract I will take to go to that wedding. And it still has to be a lot of cash on top of all of that.
She has an entire 4-day itinerary planned with like 6 events that she expects to all be child-free. Are all of us with toddlers and kids supposed to swing back and forth from hiding our kids in hotels with random sitters to all the wedding activities just to keep my psycho sister-in-law happy and then pay for it? Because she sure as fuck won't, since our kids are our problems, and as she stated to my face. Holy shit. What an asshole.
Now this one's a Midsommar. This one's straight to Midsommar for me. This is a no. She is awful. Holy shit.
Midsomarriage.
Midsomarriage. Change the itinerary so on the last day of the wedding she gets Midsommar. That's my plan. That's no. No, I'm sorry. That's no. I don't even have words for how awful that is, honestly. Jesus Christ.
Your kids are your problem, but it's also your problem that you won't come to my wedding.
Fuck. Surprise, we got you a bear as a gift. Come on in. The people demand Midsommar. Jeez. Oh, God. Honestly, I'm experiencing anxiety thinking about this wedding. Like, Jesus Christ, that's too much. That is way too much. See ya, Tony. Thanks for hanging out. What's going on? Did you finish that last post? Was there more?
This is.
Did it go to a strange place? A stranger place?
This is another
even?
one. Am I the asshole for not telling my roommate about my secret depression cakes?
Okay.
I, 22F, live with my best friend, Brooke, 23F, in a 2-bedroom apartment. Brooke owns the apartment, but I pay her rent and utilities to live in the spare bedroom.
Uh-huh.
How good a friend is she then? Brooke is a huge health/fitness nut. She goes to the gym for hours almost every day and only ever eats healthy food and counts every calorie. I love how motivated she is, but I'm not really suited to that lifestyle. I exercise a few times a week.
Morrigan says depression cakes didn't help.
I exercise a few times a week and try to eat nutritiously, and I'm generally fit, but I suffer from depression, meaning I find it difficult to be as active and disciplined as her. Sounds like she does a lot more than me. When I moved in with Brooke, she made it clear she wanted me to adopt her lifestyle. She hates sweets, fried food, etc., and didn't want them in the apartment.
Awful.
Firstly, terrible.
Awful. No. I don't want her in the apartment. No. Rejected.
Yeah. This was going well at first, but with so much going on in my life and my depression worsening, I found it hard to keep up with her regimen. She started counting my calories along with hers. That's abusive.
Yep, that's disgusting.
She can fuck right
Absolutely.
off. You're not her pet.
Nope.
That's disgusting.
Nope.
She started counting my calories along with hers and criticizing my eating. I developed major body issues. Every time I told her, it made me uncomfortable. She insisted that she was only looking out for me.
No, you need to sever from that person. In fact, they need to go straight to the bottom of hell. The uttermost depths of hell. That's the worst person, and that's abuse, and fuck her.
This is where the depression cakes come in. I love cake. It makes me feel better when I'm depressed, so I'll occasionally...
Because you're a human being!
Yeah. So I'll occasionally buy a small one if I'm feeling rough. Knowing her feelings on junk food, I've been keeping my cakes in a small cooler under my bathroom sink. She uses a different bathroom. On my bad days, I'll lock my door and eat a slice. You shouldn't have to lock your fucking door in order to eat your own fucking
have some
food
cake that you like.
in your
That
own
makes
fucking
you
house.
feel a bit better. No, fuck this roommate. She needs to go directly to hell.
If she asks me, I say I'm journaling because I know she'll shame me for being unhealthy. It's not unhealthy to eat food.
Yeah.
Food isn't poison, even if it has sugar in it. A couple of days ago, she went into my bathroom to look for toilet paper rolls. That's when she found my latest depression cake. She confronted me about it, furious. Wow, fuck her. She said I was ruining my health. No.
No, she's ruining your fucking health.
Oh, God damn it.
No, she is ruining your health by being a fucking nightmare to live with.
And throwing away the work she put in to help me.
No.
After
No.
everything I did for you that you didn't ask for.
God damn it.
Wow.
This is a Midsommar. This is.
Yeah.
No. This is about, second Midsommar in a row.
Bad.
And I think, I just want us to all be clear that we can see here, right, that compared to Josh, okay, who was a murder, this is a Midsommar. This is what I mean.
I think with some more details about Josh.
We need to pace ourselves, okay?
I think if the Josh story had been told differently, we could have been coming out with a Midsommar. I think it was all in the revealing of the details. Rihanna like the crazy ex-girlfriend tune. I love that shit. It's legit. Most of all, she was angry that I lied to her and kept the cake secret, knowing they were banned in her apartment. Yes, because when you set crazy abusive rules in your house, you force people to lie to you.
Yes.
That's just what happens.
Right.
I feel terrible for breaking her rules in her home. No, you're paying rent. It's your home. Legally, literally, it's your home.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's just cake, and I think it's unfair of her to tell me what to eat. It is. It's wrong. It's just wrong, full stop. She demanded I throw away what's left of the cake. Throw her away, which I did, but I'm genuinely confused if I'm at fault here. Am I the asshole? God damn it. Horrendous. Oh my gosh, irony of irony. Someone said, like, is she a health nut, or is this kind of masking an eating disorder? And then she says, I've expressed concern over her habits and suggested maybe seeing a therapist or dietitian, but she's told me it's not my place. And that this is what it takes to have a healthy lifestyle.
She should be packed into a little rocket and fired into the sun.
Yeah.
In the bear, obviously. You know. Bear first, then rocket, then. You know. But Jesus Christ. Fuck. Oh god, that's really that's so much. Is that the last post?
I was just on the...
On the sub?
Yeah. Those
right.
were fresh
well,
posts.
it's nearly midnight here.
Okay.
So my feeling is that we should probably head to bed.
All right.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Right, stream schedule coming up. Tomorrow we're playing some Among Us, so please be around for that. Let me change this over so we can do close up.
Yeah, do we want one more less like Midsommar?
No,
Should
I needed a short stream this time. We just gotta head to bed. It's nearly midnight.
All right. Sorry to leave it on a bummer one. Yeah.
We don't exist for them. So I'm sorry that we're human beings, guys. Tomorrow we're playing some Among Us. Lorcan will be there. Joe, Big Joel, Jack Saint, Lily. It's gonna be great. Oh, Mel Stone is gonna be there. We're gonna play some Among Us tomorrow, 7 p.m. GMT. On Monday, I'm guesting on Conrad Zimmerman's stream. On Wednesday, I'm finishing Ghost Runner, and then I'm playing some Pokemon. On Friday, a proper full-length post stream with loads of posts and guests. It'll be a great time.
Well,
Fantastic. And then the Monday after that, that next political discussion stream I was telling you about. So, jam-packed week of streams.
That's so many streams.
So much stream. So many stream. Do big stream.
How big the stream? So big.
Wow. Okay, yeah. I hope you'll all come by tomorrow, and for the rest of those, that's tomorrow, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday again. A bunch of streams. Okay, thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Good night.
Good night.